All right. Welcome, welcome everybody. I see folks are starting to come into the room. Fantastic. As you're entering and getting settled, say hi, introduce yourselves in the chat. Tell us where you're from in the world and start to get settled. I am going to wait a minute until a lot of us are here, and then I will do my little preamble about what to expect today, and then we'll get going. UK. Fantastic, Karen. Hi, Jane. I love the UK. I have a deep connection to the UK. Hi, Rebecca. Chicago. Nice. Chicago is one place in our country I have not been yet. I've traveled across the United States, coast to coast, twice, but I have not been to Chicago. I need to make a visit. If I ever go, I'll ask you for tips, Rebecca. Yes, good point. Come in the summer. That's true of Boston. I'm technically in Cambridge in Massachusetts, right outside Harvard Square. I passed through the beautiful Harvard Square campus to come to my office. You guys are in my office with me. I'll explain a little bit about it in a minute. But it's true about Boston too, with all the historic landmarks and sites here and the walking trails. It's better to come to Boston in the warmer weather as well. Don't come in the winter. I mean, you can, but if you're gonna do snow in the winter, go somewhere else that's more snowy. Upper New England, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, I don't know. You guys know what I mean. All right, so it's been a couple minutes and I see a lot more folks are entering the room. Keep coming in and saying hi, everybody. Tell us where you're from. I love to connect with everybody in this way. So great. I have my water here. Make sure you have some water for yourselves if needed. And, oh, I see two avatars that are cats. That is so cool. I see a ginger and white cat and a black cat. Hello. I'm a cat person. Hi, Wendy. Oh, you're from Florida and you're one of the cats I saw. That's so cool. All right. Hi, Worcester Kathy. Hi, Sharon from Maine. You're the other cat avatar I saw. Beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. I love to hear where we're all from. So, okay, let's get going. I think more people keep streaming in, but I'll start giving you guys the lowdown. If you've been with me before, welcome back. I do this every month. My name is Laura West, and I am the owner of a holistic healing business. You are in my office, my holistic healing space with me. I own Divine Lotus Healing, and I've owned it since 2009, which I cannot believe. I see clients and I have a thriving practice and I teach classes and I do this here in this live format with you. I've been, so I'm an herbalist and I'm a Reiki master teacher trained in 3 lineages and I'm a psychic medium. And part of my psychic world is that I channel this divine group of beings called the Council of Light, and they are just from source, this energy presence that has collective consciousness, and they've been channeling through me since 2010. I have a vast collection of their works. Hello, Otasia, welcome. Mwah, good to see you. So I have a vast collection of their works, and I've been doing this for so long in so many different iterations that I can't even begin to tell you like all the volumes, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of channeled messages. So check the link in my bio here and find me and find connections to me in other places, and that's how you can find more of the Council of Light if you want to stay connected. What I do here is once a month on the first Saturday of the month, which is now, roughly 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the Council of Light have their public channeled message session, and they give delivery to the community at large and to humanity with their guidance and their wisdom and all the things that they want to share. And so I will, in a minute, close my eyes, but I'm not asleep and I'm not in a trance. I am completely awake and able to hear you. If you knocked on my office door, I just would stop saying the words that the council put into my head and I would talk to you instead. that's how aligned I am with them, because I just run them through my energy field all the time in my mental head circuit. It's like having my ego, Laura, human mind, and then the Council of Light, spiritual, sacred mind as well. Excuse me, I'm a little tickle. So I will close my eyes in a minute and let them start speaking. And then when I come back on board after they're done, we'll have a little bit of a debrief before we go. So for you all, what is nice is that you get to either close your eyes and lie down or sit upright in a chair and relax. Just be someplace where you can be distraction free, because they have some nice wisdom. Very cool. And sometimes people like to take notes, so some of you might want a notebook and a pencil or something, because it's nice for you to just remember things they say. And I'll just read a couple more comments that have come through since I've been doing my preamble here. Rebecca says that she's attended one of the sessions before and the council's amazing. I totally agree. I'm in complete awe that this gets to be something in my life that I get to share and participating and giving out to humanity. I am Laura, the person, but the Council of Light are the source spirit, and I'm overwhelmed with joy that they have picked my voice box to come through. I never asked for this to happen. Jenny says hi from South Africa, now Kelowna, BC. I love BC. It's so beautiful there. I had an opportunity to travel there several years ago now. I want to go back. All right, folks, ready? Let's do this. Somebody do a drum roll. Thanks for the hearts too, by the way. I see that there are a lot of hearts rolling in and I love them. I won't be able to see the hearts as I start channeling the message, but at the end I'll come back on and be able to see them. Oh, and also, if anybody ever feels moved, you're welcome to press the donate button and contribute a monetary donation to this session. I don't expect or need monetary donations for my business, but it's always a welcome form of appreciation here on this platform. And I will always reply personally to everybody. I try to reply to everyone who ever leaves feedback on any of the meditations that I have, or anybody who's ever donated. It just means so much to me that that's a way that people express their gratitude. So if that moves you today, feel free to go ahead and click the donate button. All right, I'm gonna get started now. Greetings to you all, you bright, blessed beings there on that earth plane. We are the Council of Light, and we are here to speak to you once again. We have much to say and little time to do it. Time is a construct of your making as humans, so we say that tongue-in-cheek, but we have lots of things to impart to you, and we would like to do so in a quick and succinct fashion so that we can get you on your way. For you see, there is so much that you are letting go, and there is so much that you are letting fray, and there is so much that you are letting loose end in the corners and on the edges of your lives, that we need to remind you that it's time to tighten up. It's time to shore up the frequencies. It's time to get clear with your energies and to fly on the straight and narrow path of your lives. Each of you will have a sense of what we are talking about today in your own unique ways. We don't mean to say that there is a universal prescribed sense of what we're talking about for all of you as a blanket statement. What we are going to say to you is going to sound generalized, but then you may internalize it and interpret it for the uniquenesses of your individual lives and the day-to-day doings, toings, froings, and goings that happen for each of you. We do sense and see as a generalized nature that there is a lot of loose energy right now on the earth plane. It is haywire, it is staticky, it is electromagnetically prickly, and it's affecting many human beings in a way that makes you feel off center or out of sorts or off kilter. And the way that you can combat that, the way that you can negate that, the way that you can surpass that is to tune into your centeredness frequencies for yourselves very continuously. So when there is discordance, you must notice it in whatever way it's showing up for you. Perhaps you're having strife with your family members. Perhaps there's tension at work and there's disagreement amongst colleagues about how to propose moving forward with a project. Perhaps there is political unrest in your community. Perhaps there is generalized griping or negativity in the conversations that you hear taking place around you in your community when you're out and about at stores. You see the idea of what we're getting at here. So when you notice that there is this disgruntled frequency, shall we call it, in your arena for yourselves, you need to begin to clear it, and you need to begin to center back into your harmonized states of being for your own uniquenesses. It's really important that you take time, such as you're doing right now, quite ironically. You're sitting, you're lying down, you're harmonizing, you're breathing in a relaxed way, you're enjoying the vibrational frequency that comes through our speech as we speak to you. You're pausing in your day-to-day toings and froings, and you're taking some time for yourselves. So you don't always have to come back to listening to our words to find your energetic centeredness. You could practice a movement of some kind, such as walking or running or yoga or exercise. It doesn't matter what it is, just some sort of body movement. You could do some prayer practice or some meditation practice or some mantra recitation. It doesn't matter, again, what the actual practice is, but some mind and body stillness, centering, harmonization practice is what we're after here. You could do some deep energetic work with an energetic practitioner or a body manipulation therapist, such as massage or acupuncture or energy medicine, to begin to shift the frequency of chaos or discordance or sandpaper that becomes stuck in your physical beings. We'll talk about why in a minute. Or you could begin to eat more nourishing foods, or get more adequate sleep, or become more nourished with your hydration. Just tiny micro hacks for your day-to-day goings are really going to support you in stepping out of the chaos frequency that we're seeing across the whole earth plane at the moment, and allow you to come back into yourselves. So as you're getting ready to leave your homes in the mornings and go out into the day, many of you go to workplaces that are out of your environment where you live, and you're gone for long stretches of the day, and your nourishment becomes second priority, and you're getting to work and producing the work and being in the work environment becomes first priority. So we want to flip that narrative for you and say that your morning nourishment could be thought of in a calculated way the night before, and cultivated or pre-prepared or made fresh the morning of if you get up earlier and you give yourself the time, rather than just grabbing something that is pre-made on the go. We're not going to tell you specifics of what to eat and specifics of what to make, because each of you has your own unique dietary needs, but you understand the really vibrant, beautiful, healthy foods that your body enjoys eating that would be pleasurable for you to ingest in the morning, versus something that is conveniently prepackaged or pre-made that you tend to turn to grab and go and eat on the fly, or eat very unmindfully, very quickly at home, scooping fast and then going. Right? So this is one of those micro hacks that we're talking about. When you begin to say, 3 times a week, as I'm entering my work phase of my day, I'd like to really bring in a nourishing aspect to the quality of the food that I put in my body, so that I can continue to nourish myself mindfully throughout my work environment day. So now we want to go back to talking about your physical beingnesses, because we mentioned just a few moments ago that your physical body feels the discordant chaos energy of the earth plane around you first and foremost. Your physicalness is one of your beingnesses. As many of you know, you have many beingnesses that make up yourselves. You have your emotional beingness, your physical beingness, your etheric beingness, your psychic beingness, your mental beingness. You have all different parts of yourself. Your etheric beingness is that energy frequency of aura around you, your energetic body. And the chaos energy of the earth plane filters through that, and it makes you feel gunky and kind of grimy, but you don't notice it very often. For those of you who are not energetically sensitive, you just carry the grime around with you. For those of you who practice energy medicine or receive energy clearing as part of the techniques for yourselves throughout your lives, you understand what it feels like, and you're very good at removing the energy gunk, or you see a practitioner to help you do so as well. So the chaos energy of the universe, of the earth plane, filters through that etheric body, and it begins to enter into your physicalness, and it creates tight muscles. It creates kinks in your back. It creates soreness in your joints. It creates swelling in your fluids. It creates all kinds of stiffness and stuckness that your body starts to acclimatize to over time, until eventually 10, 15, 20 years has gone by and you just are somebody who lumbers around. You're somebody who carries extra weight. You're somebody who has achy joints or the bad back or the chronic headaches, and that's just a part of who you think you are. And we want to remind you that in your pure, authentic state, you are source, you are light, you are a frequency of consciousness. And then you come into this lifetime to inhabit these physical shells that you call bodies, and they are pure when they first start out. It is only over time that they become tight, overburdened, overworked, overtaxed, kinked, disaligned, etc. And you put up with that state of being for a lot longer than you have to. And for many of you that listen to our words, and for many of you that have the awareness of sacredness and spirituality in all of its different kinds that runs through your lives, and us being one of them, you understand what we're talking about, and you do a pretty good job of harmonizing yourselves and trying to balance your physicalities with your eating habits, with your sleeping habits, with your nourishment and nutrition habits, both of thought form and food form. But we like to come and remind you and become clear and specific with the ways that we offer guidance and reminders every once in a while in this capacity. And so right now, we are talking about the ways that you can become more clear and more effervescent in your light channels right now. Right now meaning this particular moment in your time frequencies. So for whatever reason, there's just energetic sweeping across the entire earth field. It's not of any one doing or one beingness that's causing it. It's not like there are yin and yang, light and dark forces that are opposing each other and they're having a battle. That does happen sometimes, but that's not what's happening now. It's not that there is any external planetary cosmic frequencies that are causing a shift. That does happen, but that's not happening now. And it's not as if there is a collective consciousness frequency of a politicized nature that is tipping the balance for most of your collective consciousnesses. That does happen, but it's not happening now. Right now, it's just sort of a buildup of energetic gunk in your energy atmospheres. And so for all of you sitting in this space, listening to our words and hearing this message today, you can begin to do a collective clearing for yourselves. You're in your own individual places there on that earth plane, all over the continents of varying degrees. It's not like you're all sitting together in one room, and yet you are together in a space. You are all connected through the energy frequency of our sound and the network of collective gathering. There are so many of you that gather collectively for this session where you listen to us, or in other frequencies you do collective gathering in other atmospheres with other teachers or other spiritual practices, etc., etc. The same is true there. So yet you're alone, you're in your individual unique atmospheres, and yet you're in a collective held space together at the same time right now as you listen to us speaking. So why don't we do this exercise with you where we begin to shift the frequencies around you in your environment. We're not shifting you yourselves. We are shifting the energy frequencies around you, and thus that in turn will shift the frequency within you. So go ahead and take a lovely deep breath into the center of your being. And exhale completely. Repeat that process. Take a deep inhale to the center of your being. And exhale completely. As you do so, become aware of your energy channel that runs up and down the center of your column. It's like a channel of light, or a channel of energy frequency, or a channel of space, emptiness. Just notice that it begins to vibrate up when you breathe in, and it vibrates down when you breathe out. Breathe in, go up. Breathe out, go down. Faster. Breathe in and up, breathe out and down. In and up, 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 out and down. Ping pong, back and forth, up and down, back and forth across the frequency, back and forth, up and down across the light channel, back and forth, up and down across that column. And as it goes up and down, back and forth, it begins to clear your own energy frequency. And it begins to clear the energy frequency around you and the space that you're residing in. And it begins to clear and harmonize and alchemize to the frequency of the up and down light clearing energy in the dwelling that you're inhabiting. Keep going up and down, up and in, down and out, up and in, down and out, and just repetitively practice this motion. You can continue this work as we begin to talk to you more and explain some more thought forms that we have as you breathe in and go up, and as you exhale and go down. You can create a meditative state of breathing rhythmically and thinking in your visualization thought forms that it's going up and down as you do so. And you can certainly practice this as a practice over the coming days, over the coming weeks, over the coming everlasting moments in your time when you notice that things are feeling gunky energetically, or from a spiritual or psychic or intuitive space, they feel sort of blocked or creatively crunched. You can just breathe this in and up and out and down frequency through your space until it harmonizes and expands out into the world around you, and you feel like it's sort of neutralized or cleansed or cleared for yourselves. And we will also point out that when you do this collectively in a group, such as when you're doing it now together, what you're actually doing is connecting with each other all over the frequency energy grids, the ley lines of the earth plane. You've created a network of connected tissue, shall we say, energetic webbing that runs the frequency of the earth. And when all of you do this kind of breathing together, or any other kind of meditative practice together, or any other kind of spiritual practice together, or sacred practice together, or pause practice together, you're running through these energetic ley line frequencies, these gridded energy networks that crisscross all over the earth. And when you do that in a concentrated way, you begin to superimpose that frequency that you've just cultivated into the gridded networks. The same is true when you do things like joyful activities. So when you participate in joyful things, you're running joy frequencies into the gridded networks. You don't all have to gather in this particular grouping. Again, you could be in your own singular space, attending something joyful for you that brings joy to you, and then you're sending it out through the ley lines and the energetic gridded networks, and it's running the joy frequency through the earth. And everybody else who's doing something joyful in that moment at that time, in their own way, is also running joy frequency. The same is true for any other frequencies that you're running into or cultivating in a space. So we've talked before in many of our past messages about listening very carefully and editing very carefully the sound current of your lives. It's really easy for you to run a negative current through the media that you consume, or the lyrics and songs you listen to, or the types of ways you describe the hardships of your days in your daily conversations with others. And the low frequency vibration that you cultivate and get stuck into and run through those types of experiences then gets fed into the gridded networks and the ley lines and the energetic frequencies of the earth plane, and that runs a lower vibration. And then the earth plane gets sort of gunky and chunked up with energy, not unlike what we're noticing is happening today for the earth. And we're pausing today to bring it to your attention, and we're having you breathe to clear and run clarity and neutrality and calmness of purity through the energy frequencies and the ley lines. It is so simple to do this, and it is so simple to cultivate a positive and happy atmosphere for yourselves. And yet humanity is like a magnetized beingness with your collective consciousness. If there's strife, if there's polarization, if there is unrest within humanity, you very easily can have a slipstream experience where you're suddenly in that same space. And that is certainly true when you're confronted with crisis moments. So anybody who's living in a space in the world where there's turmoil right now, you're in that slipstream and you cannot get out of it because you have to survive in a self-preservation mode. We're not speaking to you at the moment. You're probably not even here listening to us because you're in self-preservation mode. We're talking to the folks who are on the perimeters of that. So think about places that are having political discrepancies or war conflicts. You listening to us here now are probably not in those spaces. And so you can run the joy frequencies. You can run the neutrality frequencies. You can run the calm frequencies through your beingnesses. And what that in turn begins to do is filter out and shoot out from like the water hose droplets that are aerating the earth plane through the gridded frequencies to those who need it, who can't cultivate it themselves right now. Be careful and be mindful as humans who are in spaces that are not up against intensity, that if you become consumed by reading about, learning about, immersing yourselves in the information of the negativity of that kind of place or that kind of information or that body or that topic, that you begin to channel that frequency to others, even if you don't talk about it or become it or get immersed in it physically. So it's very interesting to think about the kind of quality of avatar of frequency that you wish to cultivate and run as your everyday average frequency as you live your lives. You don't want 15 years to go by and you turn around and suddenly say, why have I become so crabby? Life used to be enjoyable. How come I'm not happy? I used to really like my life. What happened? All I do all the time is complain. You don't have to be that. You don't have to do that. And if that is something that you have noticed that you've been doing or that you feel like you're stuck in, you can begin to flip out of it. You can begin to snap out of it. And the way to do that is by doing what we're doing here today. You can also go back and listen to past messages of ours from past energy iterations. And we have other suggestions at other times for you to begin to make the shift. By the way, anytime we've ever given a past message and you've listened to it, or you go back and listen to it, it is still present for you in the now, even if it has been talked about as something that happened a long time ago, because your construct of time for humanity is always moving forward in this linear fashion. So something that came out of the voice box of the woman Laura, who's channeling us right now, 10 years ago, in your human existence happened 10 years ago, or we spoke it to you 10 years ago. But where we come from, where the present tense is always the now and source is all that is it's still relevant in this moment because it is always this moment. From past into present and future, it's always this moment. And so you might go back and listen to something from 7 or 8 years ago and say, wow, that resonates with me right now. Thank you so much. Because it's always the now. In fact, that is something that is shared. Many people leave feedback that says, thank you. I discovered this and I see the date on it from so long ago and it feels relevant to me in this moment. Well, it was meant for you now because it's always the now. You see what we're saying? Just a little side tangent there. So let's go back to running the frequency of calmness and the frequency of purity and the frequency of consistency and the frequency of bliss and the frequency of joy. That is your authentic state. We've said that to you over and over and over. We champion that in you as humans. Your authentic state is pure harmony, bliss, happiness, joy. And there's lots of different ways that you can come into experiencing that. You know your ways, you know your touchstones. Listening to our words here today is just one of them. And we keep coming back to remind you, touchstone your joy, touchstone your pureness, touchstone your calmness, touchstone your serenity, touchstone your peacefulness, touchstone your zen, in all the ways that you know how, because you're beautifully diverse with your systems and your methodologies as humans. We love that about you. Humanity is very creative. Humanity is very inventive. You have such wonderful opportunities to always come into harmony and into sacredness and into centeredness. And we love, love, love that so many of you are doing it more and more and more. 50 years ago, your collective consciousness didn't understand these things as a whole the way it does now. We can talk to you about it always being the now, and you understand even if you don't understand. It makes sense even though you don't understand it and get it on a technical level. 50 years ago, it would have been a schema that made no sense to your rationality, and it would have made no sense to your psyche, and you would have just tossed it out and considered it fluff as a collective. But as you have centered, and as you have harmonized, and as you have grown in your peacefulness and in your zen and in your breath work and in your body practices of movement in meditative ways, and as that has taken root and harmony in your collective societies, you understand. And so it is quite a joy for us to speak to you as a humanity. We've been coming to you for millennia, and each time we pick a voice box of somebody to come through during their physical manifestation of a lifetime. And in this lifetime, it's been wonderful for us to come and speak to you in these ways and through this voice box of this woman. And we just love how it's now happening in a way that's universal. 200 years ago, we had to come through the sacred texts of the scholars and the esoterics, and it needed to be written in print form that was for exclusive knowledge for only the most advanced thought thinkers. Now we can just say it, writ large, to all of humanity. Open. No guest list, no bouncer at the door, no predetermined understanding of who gets to hear us and who doesn't. You're all welcome at the table all at once, and it's so wonderful. We are happy to see that humanity has grown in its evolution of its consciousness, of its understanding about all the things that we've ever talked to you about, your joyfulness and your energetic frequency stations and your ways to tap into your harmonization and the ways that you continue to move forward on your continuums of learning in each of your own individual lives, which then creates a consciousness movement forward on the continuum of learning for all of humanity. And so today is no exception, and we have loved being with you in this capacity, and we welcome the opportunity to speak with you again, either singularly in one-on-one fashions with the woman whose voice box we use to come to speak to you, or globally in this collective group capacity. We always come to speak to humanity. And it is a joy that we do so with you now. Thank you all for taking your time. We say time with quotes. To pause and to listen to what we've had to share with you in this way today. And we look forward to coming to you again next month. For now, we will say, we are the Council of Light, and we wrap you in a golden blanket of light to keep you and hold you and sustain you ever so tight until we are to speak with you and be with you again. Goodbye for now. Adieu and namaste. Okay, well. That was so lovely. Welcome back, everybody, to the waking conscious world. If you were in an eyes closed state or a meditative state, begin to stretch and come back into the room. Did anybody feel any of that energy going up and down the body as the Council of Light were having us breathe it in and up and exhale it out and down? I know I certainly did. I'm curious if any of you felt that as well. I could see a little, almost like a little ping pong ball, or like a, maybe like a video game ball going through channels, or like a Pac-Man, like eating, and it was going up and down my central channel, just jing, 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 jing. It felt really nice and expansive to clear. Yeah. Yes, we have a comment that says, thank you for sharing the light. The energy is powerful. I totally agree. I feel like it is very powerful too, and I feel so grateful that I get to run this as my channel of my everyday life. It's been such a blessing to have this be my consistency, and I love being here with you all and sharing this with you all. Thanks for the hearts. I just saw a ton of hearts come through. Okay, my loves. Take a sip of water here so that I can nourish my throat. It's been feeling a little scratchy today. That's all right. Little throat. I love you, throat. So thanks everyone for being here with me today. As you may know, if you've been around with me for a while, I am Laura West, and I come here every month to channel the Council of Light for you. I do this as a practice that is part of my gratitude for the work that I get to do writ large in my holistic healing. And so they've been coming through me for about a decade, maybe a little longer now. I don't know, since 2010 they've been coming. You do the math for me, however long that's been. And I have a very, very few of their messages linked in our community here. And then if you go to my bio and find me in other places in the world, they're all over other places. That's all I'm allowed to say here in this capacity. We really do like to keep things in-house in this format here, in this way. Yeah, let's see, somebody else just left a comment. Thank you, Laura, for the message. It's great confirmation to relax and trust the light, taking care of our energies. Yes, 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 yes. I 100% agree. Isn't it nice to pause and just be in this space together, taking care of our energy in this way? I love it. And I feel so connected to all of you. And I feel so connected to our collective pause energy. It's just so nice. Okay. It's been about 40 minutes, just a little bit under 40 minutes. And so I will say thanks everyone for coming. And I will put up the next month's channeled event right after I say goodbye to you all here in the live. I go back in on my teacher dashboard and I edit in a new monthly message for next month. So feel free to come and sign up for that and come back on board. If you go to my bio and you find my links to me in other places, you can also find other ways to stay connected to me in this Council of Light format. But certainly I'm not trying to pull us out of this format together. We work well here together. So I will say two more comments. Also, it's a reminder of our uniqueness. Somebody says, yes, that is true. And somebody says, it is also wonderful to be here and be part of the collective shift. Love and light with hugs and kisses. Couldn't agree more. We're a lovely group. Thanks, Julie. Julie just donated a monetary donation. Thanks, that's really lovely. when our gratitude speaks in those ways with money as the expression, it's nice. The hearts are wonderful too. Don't get me wrong. All of our gratitude together in these ways is just perfect. However, we feel moved to share it together. Okay, I'm really saying goodbye for now, and I will come and see you again next month. Bye, everyone. Many blessings and love to you all.